are you, Priscilla?
I'm doing
Um,
good, thank you.
Good. Well, I may be writing up an offer today or tomorrow, and I'm gonna need assistance with that. And I thought that I would just practice this morning before I go meet with this couple. Um, and I thought I'd practice like my case studies, which I haven't done yet completely because yeah. Anyways, what would you recommend that I do so that I'm completely prepared? Because Cameron, I am just trusting God that I'm going to come with confidence and knowing that I can do this.
Yep. Well, so when you're writing an offer, like the whole writing it is one thing, and then you will send it to your clients to sign, either through the MLS has Sky Slope. Maybe I
Yeah.
just think Sky Slope forms that you can do it in that, and it will send off, and then when they sign it, you'll get it back. Or you can do it through Command and DocuSign. So either way works. It is 100% preference. And so you should get on and look at all of the things that you should fill out. Now, there's a couple of things that you're going to want to ask them as you're filling out the offer. Like, obviously, there's the purchase price, but it's what are you putting down as your down payment? Because that's part of it. How much earnest money do you want to do? And that's probably going to be your suggestion. $1,000 probably the low end. 1% is probably the not high end, but like a good high end, and then you can go crazy after that.
Okay.
2,500 probably isn't too crazy. If it's like a normal price, 500, $600,000 house, you could get
It's 950.
950. So you might want to go a little bit higher, maybe like a $5,000 earnest money. So it's not
And then
quite 1%, it's maybe half a percent.
it will be contingent on the sale of their home. So there might be a double you know, um a, what do you call it? The contract here.
Oh yeah.
Addendum.
And pardon me?
Addendum.
Not sorry.
Addendum. Okay. How would I write that up? Because I mean, I know what I'm going to be facing as far as, the stipulations here. Um, I, I talk to me. What's the best way I can come prepared?
I would pull up all of the documents so you can see like the Rep C first, and then there's an addendum. What's it called? Why is it leaving my brain? Contingent home. There is definitely an addendum for that.
Okay. Who would
But the best thing that you can do is actually read through them. They
yes.
seem like
Okay.
intimidating, but when you read through some of these, a lot of it makes so much sense.
Okay.
It's
And would I just be really kind of reviewing the case studies to get that information? And who would I turn to in case I do need help because you're going to be gone?
I will be around-ish. I think I have service where I am, so definitely me. I'm pretty sure anyone on this call would love to fumble through it with you. So
Who's on
right
the
now,
call?
yes, we got Kylie, Priscilla, Amy, Cade, Callie, Ritz even is here.
Okay.
If you're doing it today during business hours, or if you're gonna have it sent on Monday, you could have Jeanette write this for you, and so
Okay.
you can see it.
Okay. Like, what do I tell them? Like, how would the conversation flow? Um, would you like to make it? Would you like to submit an offer?
Yeah. Should we reserve this home with an offer? I like to say that it's very non-committal. So if they're like, "Ooh, I'm a little bit worried," it's like, that's fine. Like, one, we don't know if the sellers are going to accept our offer, and then two, we're going to build out some times that we can back out. But like, if you like this house enough, we can move forward to see if it's going to be, the house for you.
Okay,
And then if they say, yep, you can call the agent, just like we practiced yesterday. I have a buyer, they want to make an offer, and just kind of talk to them about it. So, do you have any other offers? Why are your sellers selling? What are they looking for? My buyers have a house to sell, and just kind of talk about that. Talk up your buyers on how awesome they are. Ask out all the questions, and then you can submit it to Jeanette to fill out, or you can just go through the rep sheet line by line. And I would read it and just everything needs to be filled in that.
okay, yeah, that's, I remember you putting those little arrows on everything, and I'm like, I don't know how to put those arrows there, but it's just, I gotta do it and stop being so scared.
Yep. And if you want to, you could do like your own case study. So you know how the whole thing works. So you
Right,
can like take the document and figure out, are you going to do it in SkySlope? That's what they call it, right? SkySlope forms. It's on the MLS. If you hover over forms and you click SkySlope forms. So you could do it on there. So try that out, fill out the offer, send it to yourself as like the buyer, and then see how that looks on that side.
okay,
And then there's DocuSign through command. If you wanted to do that, you can start an opportunity, click on transactions. It will pop
okay,
up DocuSign. You can upload everything. You can try it that way and see what it is and decide
okay,
which do you like better on your end and which do you like better for your buyers.
okay. And then when they say that, yes, they want to submit an offer, I tell them, okay, I'll write it up and then I'll send it to you. And do I ask them, right? I mean, the obvious, what would you like the offer to be?
Yep. That's the big one. What's the offer? What do you want to offer? And then the rest are probably all your suggestions. I suggest we do probably about $5,000 earnest money. We can do more if we want to show how serious we are. Like 0.5% to 1% is typical. And then they can say, well, we want to come in strong. We're going to be 1%. It's like, great. But let's just even round that to an even number and call it $10,000.
Okay.
Then Priscilla's right on. Do you need any closing costs? Do we want the sellers to pay for any of that? Which could be like a rate buy down, or is it going to be pay some of your loan costs, etc. All of that. Obviously,
Okay.
if your commissions worked in that as well, otherwise you'll have to ask for that. Then it's inclusions. So usually that's right from the MLS. Are you guys good with that? Flowing down, let's see. I'm thinking of an offer through my mind. Then you have a home to sell, you'll have to mark that. You'll do a home warranty. And I would suggest just doing that. I just always default to including a home warranty. The buyer will pick it, the buyer will order it, the seller will pay for it, and we want $600-700. Then are there any addendums? Yes, you're going to have one for the subject to sell, which as I remembered it, as I searched it, subject to sell. Then you're going to have a due diligence period. They're probably going to get some financing. And then you have to put in dates for when it's going to close.
How do you do that when it's contingent?
Yes. So you can put in ideal dates. Yeah. I'm reading through the subject to sell right now. Like I said, reading through these documents, if you're like, ooh, what does this say? Read through it. Because, for example, in this, it says the buyer's right to cancel before the due diligence and or financing and appraisal deadline. Ooh, I'm struggling. Whichever is later. So they can cancel that. There's also a right to cancel after those deadlines if the buyer's property is not sold. but you have to do that before the settlement. So you could push those deadlines out a few weeks so you can get the property on there. You could even write in another addendum that the deadlines are 7 days after notice that you have an accepted offer. And those are kind of like a dynamic deadline is what I would call it. So it'd be like our financing deadline will be 14 days after we get an accepted offer, for example. And then you just send in an addendum when you get an accepted offer on your property and define the deadlines there.
Okay, this is being recorded, correct? Yes. I'm gonna have to listen to this over again.
Yep.
Taking
Hey,
so many
Scarlett.
notes. Yeah,
Have you met the financer they're using?
no,
Okay. I would suggest, are they using one? Do you know? Have they been pre-qualified and everything?
I would imagine. I have not talked to them in that depth yet. What happened was that I did this open house for Susie, up way out in Lake Point, which is in Tooele. And this is one of the leads that I got. And then they phoned her yesterday and said that they wanted to see it. And she passed them off to me because I've been talking with them back and forth. And so they're serious. They want to move forward, and if they like it today, they want to write up an offer. And then they have their house to sell. And so
Yeah.
there's that, that Susie and I would go in on that one together, which would be awesome because I've just been asking, Heavenly Father, going, I just need my hand held. I need to see how this process works because I'm not really good at just hearing. I need to be doing it. I need to see it, feel
Yeah.
it, do it. So,
Well, then the good news is
I-
with Susie being on the other side, if you needed to work out deadlines and things, you can say, hey, Susie, like we're making an offer. It's going to be strong. I wouldn't talk about like price and things with her because that's like you're going to negotiate against her. But be like, help me with these deadlines. How do I do this? We're going to do the subject to sell addendum. Can you help me with that piece of it? And she can walk you through any of these deadline ideas as you're going.
okay, that would be awesome. And what were you going to say, Kylie?
I was just gonna say, I would suggest asking the clients for the number of their lender so you can introduce yourself. And then depending on your client's comfort level with having that contingency, if it makes them a little uncomfortable putting in an offer on such an expensive home with the contingent to sell, ask their lender to also talk to them about the buy before you sell program, which offers them a bridge loan. Because you really have two different options for your buyer on how they can make an offer before they sell their home.
Okay.
Yes, and that bridge loan's super cool because then they can buy their house, move into that house, and sell their house. So it's like you can buy before you sell type of an idea. And Kylie just did that with her clients.
Yeah, it
That's
removes
neat.
the contingency, Scarlett, so you don't
Okay.
have to have a contingency, and sellers feel more confident accepting an offer when there isn't a contingency.
Okay. That's amazing. How did you know that, Kylie? I mean,
Ask the mortgage lender.
Okay.
Just ask them to introduce you to them, and the lender say, are you familiar with the buy before you sell bridge loan? And
Okay.
they should say yes. If not, say go educate yourself or find out if you have access to it. And then they should be able to teach you.
Okay.
Probably don't say go educate yourself. Just say, do you have access to it?
Hey, Brendan.
Go get better at your
Yeah, I was
job.
about to say that. I was like, maybe don't go that way, Scarlett, but
Yeah.
just say, oh, okay, maybe you need to read up on it and then we can circle back to that.
Yeah. They're so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, when I first asked Jake upstairs with Aries, he didn't know what I was talking about when I said the buy sell program, and I was like, "Can you find out if you have access to that or what it is?" And he came back. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's just a bridge loan. It's this company. Let me learn about it." And he learned about it like on the fly as we did it. So,
Wow.
um, so I would just ask them, and
Nice.
they can explain it to you.
Awesome.
I have a quick question, Cam.
Yeah.
I'm following up with some people that I called, and I know that they have 60% more equity on their property right now.
Yes. You didn't hear all of our
I follow
awesome scripts we came up with yesterday.
I didn't know. I thought you were doing that on the next day morning call, but then after the fact, I remembered it was not Thursday. And then like I didn't want to take my little ones because like I have them on summer break. They fly out on the 13th for 3 weeks. So be prepared to be sick of me. I'll be in the office every day. But right now I'm like just trying to soak them in as much as possible because then right when they leave for three whole weeks. So then when they come back, it's like literally 1 week and then they start school full time, both of them. So it's like my last summer that Melania's like not a full-time student. So I'm like, I'm over here dying. But anyways, I'm following up with some of these people. And did you guys record that yesterday by any chance?
No, we did a weird scenario, but Amy had my favorite script. She's on the call. Amy, do you remember what you said when seller's like, "Oh, I didn't realize I had so much equity"?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I said a couple things. I think you liked, do you like your home? Is this where you see yourself for the next while?
Yeah. Something as simple as that, Priscilla. If you were to say that,
Okay, great. Like these people that they have their home, they have like about 64% equity on the property. It's in Orem. And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that nobody's ever called me to tell me that I can buy another property with my equity." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's nice that nobody's called you and I'm able to call you and reach out to you, and we're able to work together." And then he's like, "No, that's something like I've never even thought about, but I want to talk to my wife. So if you can give me like a couple days." That was the day before yesterday. So then today I'm going to follow up and be like, "Hey, what do you think? Like, are you guys interested?" And that's where I get stuck. Like, what is the process when he asks me? Does he go to his lender? Do I call his lender for him?
yeah,
Does he get a HELOC?
yep. So there's
And then once he
depending on
gets
what he
approved,
wants to do,
sorry.
right? Yeah, I was just gonna say if they like where they live and they're just like, "Oh, we have all this equity, let's go buy an investment property," then we need to figure out how to tap into his equity. The most common probably for someone like that would be a HELOC, home equity line of credit, and the best are through credit unions actually. So he can go through his bank or credit union and get a loan. It's more similar to a credit card than anything, but it's tied to the equity in your house. So you're kind of grabbing that equity. You have to make payments on it every month. So factor that into the numbers of the rental. You could also do a refinance. I imagine they have a great loan and their payments next to nothing. So refinancing will probably make their payment jump too much to make it make sense to buy another property that way. But that's always an option. Or they could go buy something like sell their house, buy something new, use a lot of that equity, but not all of it. And then they have a chunk of change that they could either put into an investment property or retirement account, stock market, whatever they want to do with it, pay down debt. And so sometimes just the move is the best thing for your finances because it unlocks all of that equity that you had.
Okay, nice. So wherever someone has their mortgage, you can go to another bank and get a HELOC separate from your mortgage, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay,
Yeah, most
I
people
just
will
wanted to
go
make sure.
right to their bank, wherever their checking and savings account are. And credit unions like America First and Mountain America are like the best two in Utah for HELOCs. That's who everyone tends to go to. So maybe there's others that are better out there, but the majority go to those two credit unions. And then they just do a quick
Okay,
little
and then I
appraisal,
can
make sure
find,
you qualify, and it's like you sign documents as if you got a new mortgage.
okay, and then once they get that signed, then we start basically looking and searching for the property.
Mm-hmm. And you could kind of start before because it's a pretty
Okay.
fast process, a couple weeks maybe. And then if they qualify,
Okay, okay.
the bank will give them whatever their interest rate is. It's probably 9 or 10%, unless there's a introductory rate for the first year, which sometimes they do. But then even
Okay.
after that, it's probably 9 or 10% right now. It's whatever the Fed rate is plus a certain percentage. And so with that Fed rate being 4%, whatever it is, like most are 9 or 10% right now. So it's more expensive than a normal mortgage, but then they have cash that they can go put into something else. Or they can move, right? And then put 5 or 10% down and use the rest of the money to go buy something.
Okay.
It
Like
just
in the
depends on what they want.
client's
And
point of
we
view,
can-
from their point of view,
What was that? Sorry.
is it that from the client's point of view, like, is it better that I have like a person on the line? Like, I know someone that can probably help them from Mountain America. Would it be good, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have this person reach out to you from Mountain America, see what you think, and then you guys can go through the process and like see if you get approved or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah, I
Is that
talked to
better
them
for them
about
to suggest someone, or do you kind of leave it to them?
I like suggesting, but I talk to them and figure out like what their goals are. Because if they're like, oh, you know what, we actually do
Okay.
hate this house. What if we sold it? We took all of that equity and put it into a new place. We could afford that new payment and we could get a cooler, nicer house. And some people are like, maybe we'll
Okay, because I
move,
think they like their house.
pay
They
off the
like it.
cars and not have those payments, but then we can have a more expensive house payment.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that you can
Okay,
do. So
makes sense.
I would go ask a lot of questions and figure out, and then you can be like, oh yeah, I know someone at Mountain
Okay.
America. You can also check out America First, see if they are better or easier, or whatever, and kind of go from there and helping them.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Cameron.
Yep. Okay, go crush it today. Today is the last business day of the quarter. So go have a good day.
Thank you so much, guys.
Let me
Yeah,
know if
thanks. I
anyone
learned
needs
a lot
anything.
listening in.
Thanks, y'all. See ya.
Thank you. Bye, Cameron.